Hey guys, CDTVThaG here. The G, of course, stands for Gandhi's Flip-Flop. Today we're going to be reacting to Lil Xan's album Total Xanarchy, which just came out. Interestingly, this is not only my first reaction to this album, it's my first reaction to a full Lil Xan project. I have heard one Lil Xan song before, and that is Colorblind with Diplo, which didn't really showcase what Lil Xan was all about because I have no clue what his music sounds like after hearing Colorblind. So yeah, I have legitimately managed to avoid all of his music up to this point. I haven't even heard Betrayed before, and that is his biggest song. So yeah, this is really legitimately going to be my first ever reaction to Lil Xan. As always, just curious to see how he sounds. Before I do start this though, I want to get into a tweet that someone tweeted at me on Twitter under the handle at CDTV Productions. It was from my man Martel Moore. He said, "Hey, my European homie, I want to save you time and energy. This Lil Xan album isn't good. I really had some higher hopes, but he is not rapping. This is indeed not the move. Listen to other albums you've been putting off. We'll enjoy that content." Now, I do want to say, Martel, I appreciate the forewarning. I'm not going to let it influence how I feel about this album. I'm going to make up my own mind about it, but I will definitely keep what you said in mind whilst listening to it. So, without further ado, let's get started on the first track, which is titled Who I Am. Now, I'm not going to say Lil Xan is a bad looking guy, but he looks like an absolute beast, and not in a good way on this album cover. Why the fuck does this sound like it was written by a child? I do like that even though his name is Lil Xan, he's making lyrics condemning Xanax, so that's kinda cool. Hey, me too. September 29th. I'm really not enjoying his delivery on this. He genuinely sounds like a child. Well, that is potentially the worst way you could have started this project. I wouldn't say I'm not excited, because that's the second Lil Xan song I've ever heard. There's still a lot more to discover about this guy, but that song, that was trash. The hook was god awful, man. It sounded like some childish ass nursery rhyme. His whole delivery on that thing, he just sounded like a child, and it's just really not appealing to me. From the lyrics, I really do not know what he's about. All I know is his name is Lil Xan, but he condemns Xanax. That's all I know from that track. Really didn't like that. Very, very bad way to kick off the album. Let's get into the next song. Track number 2, Wake Up. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. This is the guy that called someone else's music boring, is it? You know, sometimes you just listen to an album or a song and you just think to yourself, I don't know how to react to this, because it's just sucking every ounce of energy out of me. Well, he's 2 for 2 right now with the bad songs. I know I'm only 2 tracks in, but what is the appeal of Lil Xan? Because the thing is, right, these lyrics are possibly the most basic lyrics I've ever seen in my life. The flows are so simplistic that they could literally have came from anyone. And the thing is, yeah, sure, okay, maybe these tracks are just for the vibes. I'm not getting any vibes from this, man. These 2 songs so far have done absolutely nothing for me. Like, I can't even enjoy them just as something to listen to in the background. Let's just move on to the next one, which is TikTok, which just reminds me of the song by Kesha. And this one is featuring Chainz. Chainz has been killing every single verse that he has touched recently, so I'm excited to see how he sounds on here. Again, I'm just struggling to see where his unique place in hip-hop is. No matter how much I dislike a lot of these new age rappers, a lot of them have their own defining characteristics. Lil Xan has absolutely nothing so far that defines him. 2 Chainz was okay on there. It's definitely not the best verse I've heard from him. Next to Lil Xan, it sounds like a lyrical masterpiece, but you know, looking at it as just a 2 Chainz verse, it was okay. Man. I didn't know what to think about this going into it, but there has been nothing to enjoy so far. Right, say what you want about people like Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, maybe Lil Uzi Vert. There's a lot of people that don't like him. All these guys, even though they sound very typical, they have their own defining traits. They sound unique. You can pick them out against each other. You can tell the difference between Lil Pump and 6ix9ine. You can tell the difference between Lil Uzi and Playboi Carti. There's a very definitive difference. Lil Xan just sounds like the peak of unoriginality right now. There's nothing unique here so far in this album. Number 4, Diamonds. This is such a weird beat. Can I just go? Do I even need to react to this anymore? I will say, this is probably my favorite song from him so far. And this song is like a 2 out of 10. Like I said, that is probably my favorite track so far. That is not saying much. I'm actually questioning what the fuck I'm doing with my life right now. I'm not lying to you guys. If you can see that. It's 3 AM right now. I could be sleeping and instead I'm reacting to this album. I think I made the wrong choice. Track number 5, The Man, featuring Stephen Canon, which I believe Lil Xan released as a single from this project. So, or at least they made a music video. So, let's hope that this one is better because it was worth making a music video for. Is this just exactly like a Rae Sremmurd hook? And I like Rae Sremmurd, but you can't just kind of rip their style. This is the type of album that makes you rethink your life choices, but not in the same way that a Kendrick Lamar or even maybe a J. Cole would make you rethink your life choices. It's the fact I could be sleeping right now. Apparently that was Stephen Canon. I couldn't tell. Kill me. Let's move on to track number 6, I think. Maybe it's 6. Maybe it's 5. Saved by the Bell. Let's hope Saved by the Bell can save my happiness. Sounds like we're gonna have some happier vibes here. Okay. Okay. How small is this man's vocabulary? Like, this hook is literally the same line over and over and over and over and over. But I do like how this one sounds, so we're getting somewhere. Wow, this guy is one of the most generic writers I've ever heard. Let me know in the comments below if his other music is like this, because I don't know, this is my first reaction to Lil Xan, like I said. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. That one's the best track so far. Not much of a compliment. The lyrics are still incredibly repetitive. The most simplistic writing I've ever seen in a song. No wonder this man didn't like his teachers. His teachers probably didn't think he was the smartest man in school. Alright, track number 7. Moonlight, featuring Charli XCX. So that's an interesting feature. Maybe she can give us some variety, I guess, on this. Let's just go into it. At least it's not him just repeating the same phrases over and over again. He's really not hitting the right notes though. Like, this is incredibly monotone. Why isn't Charli XCX doing the hook? I just realized that. Why is she not doing the hook? Okay. fucking hilarious. Charli XCX isn't even that good on here, and she's already a better rapper than Lil Xan. Wow. I guess you really did try to warn me, didn't you, Martel? I think really my main issue so far is that Lil Xan lacks so much personality. There's actually nothing there. Track number 8, Shine Hard, featuring Rae Sremmurd. I really like Sremmurd. Can't even speak now. I like Rae Sremmurd. I really enjoy their music. So hopefully I'll get something from this song. Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy could come with their worst verses ever, and I'd still be somewhat happy to hear them on this album. Lil Xan. Okay, he's flowing a bit on here. Baby's flowing there for a minute. That was his best verse on the album so far. His delivery sounded a little bit better there as well, I will give him that. See, with this channel, I really like to talk for at least a minute or so after the songs are finished about what I think about them, but the problem is these songs are like so devoid of anything that it's hard to talk about anything. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Rae Sremmurd was on there, Sway Lee did a decent job, Slim Jimmy brought a decent verse. Lil Xan, actually, that's probably his best verse on the album so far because he was actually kind of flowing on there. His voice, his delivery sounded a little bit better. It was a lot less babyish, but I mean, it's still nothing good. So let's go on to the next track, Round Here, featuring YG. That was cool. Something a little different. Hey, no, you're never around here. Hey, no, you're never around here. We're gonna go on to track number 10, basically. Okay, I can kind of vibe with this a little bit. This track seems so quiet though. This track is alright. It's alright. It actually sounds decent, which is something. I mean, yeah, that track was okay. I mean, it was only like just over a minute long, so didn't really feel like it mattered. But let's go to track number 11, Deceived. 6 more tracks to go, guys. I'll try and pull through. At least we got a little bit of an emotional sound to this one. I guess I can say that at least. Yeah, this is an alright song, which is really the highest praise I can give to this album so far. Yeah, I guess it's nice to have a little bit more of an emotional value. Obviously the lyrics are so simple that none of it really connects, none of it hits. But yeah, it's weird. I don't think I've ever been mentally broke by an album before, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Even though these tracks are okay, it's the fact that none of them are better than okay that's really killing me. I actually want to hear a track that is so terribly bad that I can laugh at it now, because at least that way I'll feel something. But I guess this could be good. Next up, we have his biggest hit, his song Betrayed. Let's get into this. Hopefully this one is good, man. Third one in a row, I think, produced by Bobby Johnson. I guess he makes these kind of more slightly emotional type vibe beats. At least he's actually kind of rapping here, okay. Okay, what does that have to do with Xan's betraying you? I'll give him props for that hook, because he's basically telling people not to take Xanax, which is a message I think rappers could be getting out there more, you know, because whether you like it or not, like, there's a lot of kids that listen to this music, they could be very influenced by it, all that shit. I do like the way that he's talking about not taking Xanax, you know. Instead of promoting them, he's kind of condemning them. the verses don't really match that at all. You know, it's not like he sticks to this theme strongly. It's not like it's a song about not taking Xanax, because the verses don't talk about that, really. It's mainly the hook that just talks about not taking Xanax. So I appreciate the hook. The rest of the song doesn't really link into it. Although I guess I could see why that's his biggest hit, because it's a decent enough sounding song. It's a good enough song, okay? At least I got something from it. Next up, we have track 13, Slingshot. Okay, he's telling people not to take Xanax, but he's promoting lean and other drugs. You know, I'm actually reading this book about beer right now. It's probably the most Scottish book I have in here. I don't even like beer, but I'm getting more satisfaction out of this right now than the album, so that's cool. Did you know the total production of Irish beers is 8,023,000 hectolitres per year? Learning something from this. That song made me want to read. Not even that song. It's not even that song, okay? Because that song was not horrible, okay? It was bad. It wasn't horrible. It's just the combination of everything on this album so far just eating away at my psyche. So let's go to track 14. We only have 2 more after this, man. Track 14, Far. What? Hold up. On Rap Genius, Lil Xan says for this song, one of his biggest influences was Bryson Tiller. Don't even try to compare yourself. He says, I know I don't make that type of music, but I would love to make that type of music. Put in some more goddamn effort then. I just don't think I've ever heard a rapper try less than Lil Xan has. You know what? I just found out how I can get some entertainment from this. Just read the questions that people have asked Lil Xan on Genius and read his answers. Why do you think this song is so popular? Lil Xan replied with, I think it's cause it's so different. It's a different vibe, everything from the beat to the vocals to even the visuals. I don't know, I haven't seen the music video. It's so different and people weren't expecting that. You tell yourself that, Xan. You tell yourself that. You know what, let's just move on because we only have 2 more tracks to go. I cannot wait to finish this. Colorblind by Diplo. I've actually already heard this track, so I can skip it. I've already heard this song. I did a reaction to Diplo's California EP. You can go and check that out. I'll probably leave a link to that in the description below. We made it, guys. The final track, which is a remix of Betrayed, featuring Rich the Kid and Yo Gotti. I'm interested to see how they fit on this track. I don't like Yo Gotti's voice. Not too sure what I think of Rich the Kid, so let's just do it, man. Let's just do it, get it over and done with. We made it to the end, guys. I told that bitch I can't date you. She pop a pill and go cuckoo. She ride on a dick like a new coupe. Rich the Kid's delivery really does not fit the more subdued vibe of this song. You know, the beat sounds very kind of low-key, and Rich the Kid really isn't adapting to that. He's just using his normal delivery. New shoes, new Chanel coat, little bitch get a heart broke. Okay, that's a reference to the original version of Betrayed. That's cool. Nice little bit of a melody on the last couple of lines there. So I guess all we got left is Yo Gotti. He's floating a little bit, I like that. Yo Gotti actually kind of fits in on here. Wasn't expecting that. I'm not clapping because the album was good. I'm actually clapping for myself because I managed to make it through this. I think that may be the worst album of this year so far. I have never heard Lil Xan before. I kind of wish it stayed that way. I mean, the only thing really that's unique about him is his voice, I guess. I guess I'd be able to recognize his voice if I heard it again. But he doesn't have his own flow. He doesn't have his own particular lyrics. And him saying his vibe is different, no it's not. You don't have your own vibe. I've heard a million other tracks like these This music is nothing unique. There's nothing special about it. He has no personality. All his music just sounds so lazy. That was terrible, guys. That was terrible. As you can see here, I've never done this with an album straight away after a reaction, but yeah, we're just gonna, delete that album. Yeah. I think that is the first time I have ever deleted an album from my phone straight after a reaction. Expect to see this on my worst albums of 2018 list. It's most likely gonna make it. Favorite tracks? Favorite tracks. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Saved by the Bell. Maybe Basically. Betrayed. I'm struggling to see how this, like, could appeal to anyone. Even if I'm not looking at the lyrics, which are so simplistic, there's nothing else I get from it. I don't get happy. I don't get any kind of feeling from his music. There's nothing here. That was complete trash. I say I hate to use that word. I've been using it a little more recently, but I've not been using it correctly because that album is a good example of what trash really is. That kind of puts everything into perspective for me. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. I'll be surprised if a lot of you like this, honestly, because what is there to enjoy? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm gonna go sleep now. I will see you all in the next video, and this is CDTVThaG, signing out.